What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Cal Pay-Per-View Reviews. Kyle Flexstorm McGee here, still the reigning and defending Pack champion, here with another pay-per-view review. Obviously, we took day one off, was getting this studio ready. It is slowly but surely coming together, and we are back, and we are happy to be back. Making sure my microphone's on, because I did a few video and audio tests, and the microphone kept muting itself. Thankfully, it looks like it's on. So, the Royal Rumble is in the books. The 2022 Royal Rumble, the 35th annual Royal Rumble event. And this was an interesting show. It took place in St. Louis, Missouri at the Dome at America's Center. January 29th, 2022, with a reported attendance of 44,390 is what I'm reading here. So this was an interesting show. There was a lot of people thinking that we were going to kick things off with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. At least that's what a lot of people that I were talking to were thinking. You have the biggest feud in WWE right now is Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and they're both the world champion of their respective, Roman being the Universal Champion, Brock being the WWE Champion. So it's very interesting to see where this was going to go. Are they going to go with the title unification? Is one of them going to drop the title? How are we going to go about this? Are they possibly both going to drop the title? Well, we'll get to that in a moment. So, we kicked things off with Seth freaking Rollins, because, we have to take all the fun out of everything and make it official, versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. This is a match people have been clamoring for a while, and we finally got it again. You have Seth kind of being like the Joker to Roman's Batman in this feud. Roman telling me he hates him for what he did to the Shield. He'll never forgive him for that. And gets a huge pop. Jimmy and Jay are banned from ringside here. Roman makes his epic entrance. As he's waiting, the Shield theme hits. Huge pop. Roman and Seth's coming from the crowd, laughing. He's got his Shield gear on again, playing the mind games perfectly. I loved this. And these two ended up having a really great match. You had some really good spots in this. You had Roman's emotions getting the better of him, and Seth kind of capitalizing and out-wrestling him as a result. You had the brilliant spot where Roman goes for the spear and it gets countered into the pedigree, which looks great. Every time they've done it before, it looked great here tonight. You had several moments where it looked like Seth was going to win. He hits the stomp at one point. Every time Roman would get the upper hand, Seth would end up taking advantage. Actually, very early on in the match, Seth gives him the power bomb through the announce table, and Michael Cole called it the Shield Bomb, which felt kind of weird because it wasn't a Shield Bomb, it was just a power bomb. I get that wasn't supposed to be the symbolism behind it, but it was still a cool match overall. The match ends up ending when Roman finally has enough after Seth kicks out of a spear, locks him in the guillotine choke, and it looks like he's got him. He's choked so many people unconscious with this in the past. And then Seth makes it to the ropes, but Roman is mentally just snapped at this point and doesn't let go, ends up getting himself disqualified. Seth Rollins defeats Roman via disqualification, but as a result, Roman Reigns is still the world champion. I thought this was excellent booking. I've seen so many people complaining about, the fact that there was a disqualification on this pay-per-view, but I actually think it made perfect sense. I loved the booking here, thought it was great. Then Roman yelling at the ref after being disqualified that he deserves this. And then, him getting the chair and repeating the past. Finally returning some justice, no pun intended, on to Seth Rollins with the chair beat down, then walking out of the title. I loved everything about this match. I loved the story. It was over in 14 minutes and 25 seconds. And they did a great job here. I give it an A. Easily, to me, the best part of the show. I genuinely loved this. Up next was the Women's Royal Rumble match, which, if you ask me, is what solidified me retaining the title over Rob on Saturday. I actually think that this was a decent match. It was okay. It had some small moments. There's a lot of really fun moments. We kicked things off with Molina and Sasha Banks, which was really cool seeing Molina. She got a huge pop. And then she was kind of unceremoniously dumped out within a minute. So that felt kind of awkward. Tamina was out next. So the order of entrance, we had Sasha Banks, then Molina, Then after that, we had Tamina, Kelly Kelly, Aaliyah, Liv Morgan, Queen Zelina, Bianca Belair, Dana Brooke, Michelle McCool, which was cool, Sonya Deville, which we had the moment where she, sits down and refuses to enter the ring because I still have my jacket on. I'm not a competitor, which was just silly to me. And then you have, so her official time in the match is only 2 minutes, even though she was technically in it much longer than that, but she never officially entered. After Sonya Deville was Natalia, who was in the match for actually an impressively long time. Natalia had the third most time in the match, 36 minutes and 17 seconds. So that alone is pretty impressive. After that, you had Naomi, who was eliminated. She did end up eliminating Sonya Deville, but was also eliminated by Sonya Deville after Sonya was eliminated. So I guess they're going to keep this going for some reason. I don't know. You had Carmella at 15, Rhea Ripley at 16, Charlotte Flair at 17. Rhea and Charlotte both were in the match over 30 minutes, which is impressive. You had Ivory at number 18. I loved Ivory in this match. She was only in the match for 25 seconds. She came out with the right to censor gimmick. She came out talking the entire time, gets into the ring. Rhea Ripley immediately picks her up, and instead of resisting the elimination, she just complains the entire time. Get your hands off me. You should not be touching me. Gets eliminated very quickly. I loved it. I personally thought this was one of the highlights of the match. It was hilarious to me. I thought it was a great throwback to the right to the censor gimmick. Didn't need to have her wrestling. I don't think she's even at a point where she's still actively wrestling, even on a semi-regular basis. So having her just come out and get kind of dumped out immediately was funny. And having her talk while being eliminated, I loved that. 19, we had Brie Bella. Then we had Mickie James from Impact Wrestling, a huge pop from Hardcore Country. I'll get to Mickie in a minute. I thought that her spots in the match were great. Alicia Fox at 21, Nikki ASH at 22, Summer Rae at 23, Nikki Bella at 24, Sarah Logan at 25, which was cool, seeing her and Liv Morgan be briefly reunited. Mighty Molly, I jumped the gun. Lita at 26, Mighty Molly at 27, who was very quickly dumped out by Nikki ASH, who had claimed there can only be one superhero in this match. So she's eliminated 20 seconds after getting into the ring. And then the part that won the predictions contest for me, Ronda Rousey made her return at number 28, ended up being the winner, got 4 eliminations. Shotzi at number 29 and Shayna Baszler at number 30. It was cool to see the little nod between her and Ronda when Shayna came out. So some notes from this match. The most time in the match was apparently held by Bianca Belair at 47 minutes and 30 seconds. You had, after her, Liv Morgan at 37 minutes, 20 seconds, and then Natalia, as I mentioned, 36 minutes, 17 seconds. If we go by elimination order, Molina eliminated first, Kelly eliminated second, then Sasha Banks. Sasha being eliminated so early on was rather confusing to me as Penny comes in to say hello. You have Dana Brooke was 4th eliminated, Tamina 5th, Cameron 6th, Sonya Deville 7th, Carmella 8th, Queen Zelina 9, Aaliyah 10, Naomi 11th, Ivory 12th, Michelle McCool 13th, Summer Rae 14th, Alicia Fox 15th, Sarah Logan 16th, and Liv Morgan 17th. That was one of the parts of the match I didn't like. They gave them a pretty brief reunion, and it was cool to see, but then they were both immediately dumped out by the Bella Twins. It felt like they were just kind of cast aside. After that, Mickie James was eliminated by Lita after 11 minutes and 40 seconds. I genuinely liked this. They didn't just bring her in and have her get eliminated by Charlotte to be like, hey, our champion is better than the other promotion's champion, which is what a lot of people predicted. Instead, they kind of closed the chapter on her WWE career in a very poetic way. She ended Lita's full-time in-ring career, and then Lita is the one that ends her chapter officially in the WWE. I really like that. She got a great pop when Hardcore Country came on. I really liked her spot in this match. After that, Mighty Molly was eliminated by Nikki ASH, as we mentioned. Nikki ASH was then eliminated by Ronda Rousey. Nikki Bella was eliminated by Brie Bella, who was then eliminated by Ronda Rousey. Shotzi was eliminated by Ronda Rousey. Bianca Belair was eliminated, Natalia eliminated by Bianca Belair, then Lita, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair in that order, eliminated by Charlotte Flair, then Shayna eliminated by Charlotte Flair. Comes down to Charlotte and Ronda Rousey, and Ronda dumps her over, and it wins the Royal Rumble. This was actually a fun match. I'm curious where they're going to go with this. There's a lot of reports that they've already penciled in Ronda versus Charlotte for Mania, which with Ronda eliminating Charlotte from the Royal Rumble makes sense, but at the same time, from a continuous story standpoint, I think it would make more sense for Ronda to come back for Becky and try to get her revenge, but we will see where that goes. All in all, I'm going to give this Women's Rumble match a B. I've seen better Rumble matches, but it was still entertaining, and I still enjoyed it for what it was, and it was the superior Rumble for this event by far. Penny is very needy right now, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, we had Becky Lynch defeating Doudrop by pinfall in 13 minutes. I forgot to mention the Women's Rumble was 59 minutes, 40 seconds. So, 13-minute match, Becky Lynch and Doudrop. This match was better than I expected. It did exceed my expectations. They did a great job in the storytelling here. Penny, dear Lord. They did a great job with the storytelling here. It wasn't a phenomenal match by any means, but it was pretty good. You had the storytelling of Becky, getting desperate. No matter what she did, Doudrop was able to, use her strength and her power. Becky did control a good portion of this match. Still some good spots. She goes for the disarmer. She's not able to get it, so she just turns it into a full-on armbar. But Doudrop rolls through and power bombs her out of it. She goes for the manhandle slam on Doudrop. Doudrop, uses her strength. She can't get it. Ends up winning the match with a manhandle slam from the middle rope, which I thought was a great way to end this match. Retains the title. Fans were distracted during it, though, because the WrestleMania sign was on fire from the pyro display, so that was interesting. Becky did kind of acknowledge it. Talking about herself being straight fire. I set that sign on fire, blah, blah, blah. It was kind of cheesy, but at least it was acknowledged. So I'll give that match a C+. It wasn't great, but it was good for what it was and better than I expected. Up next, the matchup we've waited years for. Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. This match went 10 minutes and 15 seconds. And as you would expect, it was just two big men slugging it out. The most interesting part to me was these two starting the match off with a lockup. This match, to me, I saw a lot of people saying they were disappointed by it. I loved it. I thought it was great. Yeah, Brock German suplexes him on their second lockup after nobody budges. But Bobby gets right back up. They lock up again. Bobby Germans him. They end up training Germans for a while, both taking each other to Suplex City. Bobby ends up countering a quick F5 into a spear, spears him again, but Brock rolls out of the ring. Bobby goes to spear him through the barricade like he did at day one, but Brock has thought about it this time, sidesteps him. Bobby goes to the barricade. They end up fighting back and forth. Bobby continues fighting back. Bobby was made to look pretty damn strong in this match, honestly. And then, they end up, the Hurt Lock gets applied for a good minute as a counter to the F5. Brock ends up catching him, gets him in the F5, but knocks the referee down. He looks around, and then Roman Reigns shows up and hits the spear on Brock Lesnar. Looks over at Paul Heyman and sticks his hand out. Heyman kind of smiles and hands him the WWE Championship. Roman decks him with it and leaves with Paul Heyman. So, it looks like it was a ruse all along between Paul and Roman to sucker Brock Lesnar in. Bobby Lashley defeats Brock Lesnar to win the WWE Championship. I'll give this match a B+. I genuinely enjoyed it, like I said. It was very good. Not quite as good as our opening match, but it was very good overall, and I liked what they did with it. The storytelling in this was good, although it did make the Men's Rumble match rather predictable, which we will get to in a minute. Up next was Edge and Beth Phoenix defeating Miz and Maurice via pinfall. 12 minutes, 30 seconds. This match was okay. Nothing special. There were some cool spots, with Beth landing a move on Beth powerbombing Miz, and then Maurice ends up doing a Hurricane Rana off the top rope, jumps off and does a Hurricane Rana onto Edge. But other than that, it was nothing super spectacular. It was okay. You had the loaded purse with the brick in it spot. Other than that, they hit a double spear on Miz, Edge, and Beth do, and then they both hit the... oh my gosh, I can't think of it. Beth Phoenix's finisher. I cannot for the life of me remember what it's called right now. And I knew what it was called before I started recording. So they win the match. I'll give it a C-. It really didn't do a lot for me, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. Up next, the Men's Royal Rumble match, which went 51 minutes and 10 seconds. The order of entrance: AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Austin Theory, Robert Roode, Ridge Holland, Montez Ford, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Johnny Knoxville, Angelo Dawkins, Omos, Ricochet, Chad Gable, Dominic Mysterio, Happy Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Sheamus, Rick Boogs, Madcap Moss, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, which was, to me, arguably the only actual surprise entrant, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, Kofi Kingston, Otis, Big E, Bad Bunny, Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, and at number 30, our ultimate winner, Brock Lesnar. So, some notes from this match: most eliminations held by by AJ Styles with 6, followed very closely by Brock Lesnar with 5. Omos had 3. Omos was eliminated by 6 people. You had Happy Corbin up next, also with 3. So those are some notes on that. Elimination orders: Robert Roode was eliminated first by AJ Styles. Then Shinsuke Nakamura was eliminated second by AJ Styles. Johnny Knoxville was eliminated by Sami Zayn after 1 minute 26 seconds. I'm going to say something right now. Johnny Knoxville's spot in the Royal Rumble was by far the most entertaining part of this match. From his entrance to his get-up, his double leg takedown on Sami Zayn, him pointing at the Mania sign, his little back and forth with AJ Styles, then getting absolutely obliterated by all the guys, and then, of course, unceremoniously booted out by Sami Zayn, who got his heat back, who was then very quickly eliminated by AJ Styles. Up next, Angelo Dawkins was eliminated by Omos, then Montez Ford eliminated by Omos, and then Damian Priest eliminated by Omos, and then Omos was eliminated by 6 people. Ricochet was then eliminated by Happy Corbin. Dominic Mysterio eliminated by Happy Corbin. My God, I can't say his name. Austin Theory eliminated by AJ Styles. Ridge Holland eliminated by AJ Styles. Chad Gable eliminated by Rick Boogs. And then AJ Styles eliminated by Madcap fucking Moss. You can't make this shit up, folks. Madcap Moss eliminated AJ Styles. I do not have the words or the mental capacity to try and even pretend that I can comprehend this. This was one of the worst parts of the match. Madcap fucking Moss eliminated AJ Styles. I don't even have the words for this, and I really try not to swear in these videos, but my God, Madcap Moss eliminated AJ Styles. Wow. Rick Boogs was then eliminated by Happy Corbin. Madcap Moss was then eliminated, thank God, by Drew McIntyre. And then Drew McIntyre eliminated Happy Corbin. Kofi Kingston eliminated by Kevin Owens in 21 seconds in a botch. They tried to do the Kofi spectacular save spot as soon as he came in. It was a really risky one and was one that was very difficult to imagine would pay off. Kofi goes for a big dive over the top rope. Kevin Owens pushes him, and Kofi tries to land ribs first and catch himself on the barricade, but way too risky of a spot, and his feet touch the floor. He was able to have a good sense of humor and laugh at himself. If anything, to me, it almost kind of helped the realisticness of Kofi always doing these spots. Inevitably, it was going to come back to bite him, and it finally did, but it did take away from the match in a big way. Sheamus was then eliminated by Bad Bunny. Then Dolph Ziggler was eliminated by Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny. Then Rey Mysterio was eliminated by Otis. And then Kevin Owens was eliminated by Shane fucking McMahon. Again, I'm cussing and I really try not to. Shane McMahon came into this match and looked so damn strong while he was in there. I really do not understand this. It was incomprehensible booking. I'll get to Shane McMahon's elimination in a second, but people had to sell for Shane McMahon like no other, and it was really infuriating to watch if we are being honest. After Kevin Owens was eliminated, Big E was eliminated, then Otis were eliminated, both by Riddle and Randy Orton. Then we had Randy Orton unceremoniously get dumped out by Brock Lesnar, Bad Bunny eliminated by Brock Lesnar, Riddle just tossed out by Brock Lesnar, Shane McMahon eliminated by Brock Lesnar, who, when Brock went to clothesline him over the rope, he did not go over. I guess because Brock didn't clothesline him stiff enough, he didn't sell for Brock. I noticed Brock looked kind of pissed watching this. He may have been. Who knows? Brock ends up eliminating him. And then we get about 10 seconds of drama of who's going to win between Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. Keep in mind, Drew McIntyre eliminated Brock Lesnar to win the 2020 Rumble. Obviously, he wasn't the last elimination, but he eliminated him on his way to winning the Rumble and then beat him that year at WrestleMania to win the title. Here, he's just kind of goes for some offense, tries to fight back. Claymore gets countered. He gets German suplex, then gets F5'd out of the ring, and Brock Lesnar wins with 5 eliminations. I give this match a D-. I barely don't give it an F. It was boring. It was terrible. It was one of the worst Rumbles in recent memory. I think the only Rumble off the top of my head in recent years that might be worse is the 2015 Rumble. But this one was pretty close. It was really bad. There was no real surprise entrances. Every person in this match had already pretty much been announced. The only surprise was Drew McIntyre, because I didn't actually think that he was going to be back for this event. It was sounding like he was going to be out for a while and might be back by Elimination Chamber at best. Brock was technically a surprise, but also not really. Shane McMahon and Bad Bunny. Shane McMahon was announced via a press release on Friday. I just don't understand the booking of this match. Shane was only in it for 5.5 minutes, but he looked so strong during this match. Madcap Moss eliminating AJ Styles. The most entertaining part of this match was Johnny Knoxville. D-. It's barely not an F. This event as a whole, it had a great, both men's title matches were great as Penny attacks Lizzie in the background. Penny, no. No. Doudrop and Becky was actually decent. The mixed tag match was okay, but not great. But this men's Rumble match really dragged this card down for me. Without that men's Rumble match, I think this event probably would have gotten a B or a B+ from me. But this men's Rumble match was so bad, and it closed out the show being so bad. And I wanted Brock to win. I guess I should reword that. I thought Brock winning made the most sense from a storytelling perspective. I said this after Crown Jewel. But it just felt so flat. There was no drama. There was no build. It just felt so flat when it happened. The entire match was boring. D-. It drags the entire Royal Rumble 2022 event down to a C for me. And this would have been a B or a B+ before. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this event. I was severely disappointed by it. The Royal Rumble has been an event that, even when I don't keep up with wrestling, or with WWE at least, I always go out of my way to watch it because it's always a fun event. This one, the men's Rumble match closing the show really killed it, but from a storytelling perspective, it kind of had to. Now, it does lead to some interesting stuff at Mania. Brock versus Roman, with Paul Heyman firmly entrenched with Roman, is going to be interesting. I'm sure the storytelling in this will be great. It has been so far. Bobby Lashley being champion again is kind of great. I think even though he won in a cheap way, he was still made to look strong. I look forward to seeing where this goes, but yeah, Thank you all for watching. I hope you stay tuned, and we will see you next time on the Cal pay-per-view reviews.